Hello and welcome back to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer this evening, Logan Landers. And joining me, as always, on Wednesdays to profile these amazing athletes that are about to make their journey into the NFL is the man himself from the 901, Mr. Football, Vincent Turner. How you doing this Wednesday, Vince?
How you doing, Mr. Logan? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood here in the local metro Atlanta area.
Yes, sir. Yes, it is. Great weather outside today. Lovely low 70 type of weather. Good day to go have a picnic and also talk some football. And we got a special one for y'all today. We're talking about Terrace Marshall Jr., the young wide receiver out of the LSU Tigers. Hey, be sure before we start this, guys, if you enjoyed this video today, please like, comment, share it to all your Facebook groups, like our Facebook page, our YouTube channel. We're getting close to 200 subscribers on YouTube. Almost there. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. But hey, let's get on into this one, Vince. What do you like about the young man out of LSU, and how do you think he's going to fare in the NFL?
When I think about Terrace Marshall Jr., I think about superstar. I think about dynamic playmaker. I think about explosion. So let me give you my grade report about him because I like the young man. First of all, I'm going to start off saying this. He's 6'3", 200 pounds. He can run like a deer. But most of all, my grade report on him is route running, A+. The hands, A+. Being physical at the line of scrimmage, A+. Catch after running ability, A+. And finally, he's very versatile. He can play in the slot. He can play in the outside boundary. Just a super football player for his size. Look at the game film this year about Terrace Marshall. Let's go back to the Missouri game. Against a Missouri defense that had Nick Bolton, one of the better linebackers in this year's 2021 NFL draft. That game, 11 receptions, 235 yards, 3 touchdowns. Then let's go back to 2019 against Texas, which I think was the biggest game of that great LSU team that season. Against Texas, 6 receptions, 123 yards, 1 touchdown, and he made a fantastic catch in that football game. Then look what he did at LSU and all the talent he had to wait in the history of the LSU wide receiver positions. Not only Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, but think about the players that played at the position. Carlos Carson, DJ Chalk, Michael Clayton, Dwayne Bowe, Eric Martin, Todd Kitchen, and the great All-American back in the 1970s, Andy Hamilton. Now I'm going to take you to the pro level game, who I think Mr. Marshall reminds me of. He got some of that James Lofton in him. That played with the Green Bay Packers and the Buffalo Bills out of Stanford University. He's got that explosion like Otis Taylor out of Purdue University, who played with Kansas City Chiefs and they won a Super Bowl III. Then he got a little bit of John Starwood out of Alabama A&M. We know how his career ended up, 4 Super Bowl rings with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then finally, he got another guy who reminds me of, since I'm a Cowboys fan, Tony Hill, who came out of Stanford. That was a pretty good sized wide receiver. Then he reminded me of a gentleman when I was attending the University of Arkansas from 1978 to 1982, a guy that went in the 6th round in the 81 draft, Mr. Bobby Duckworth, can run like a deer and a gazelle, and Mr. Marshall reminds me a lot of those abilities. Then finally, when you're talking about Terrace Marshall going to the level, all you seeing is a poor man's DeAndre Hopkins, a very poor man's Julio Jones. You should know about him. He played here locally with the Atlanta Falcons. And then a guy who came on the scene last year and to me was the best receiver in the game, Devontae Adams. What I like about Terrace Marshall, he got every ability to be super explosive. And really, we haven't really seen how good he can be because he played behind some real good talent at LSU. But I like that 6'3", 210 pounds. He's probably going to add 10 more pounds, be 220. And he's got everything to be a superstar at the next level.
Yeah. Hey, that's a lofty expectation there, Vince. I know you call him a poor man's DeAndre Hopkins and Julio Jones. And that just means we got a lot of potential on this young man, and he can live up to it if he gets in the right system. And I truly believe that. And like you said, he had to wait his turn at LSU. They've had an amazing crop of wide receivers come out of that program in the last couple of seasons. And Terrace Marshall is just the latest, in my opinion. So, hey, as always, I like to give my 3 teams I think this young man might head to. And whatever one he lands up in, he's going to help out a lot. And if you agree with my picks, let me know in the comments. And if you disagree, I'm fine with that too. Just put your team in the comments as well. We love the interaction here as always. So, Vincent, my first team that I have Terrace Marshall Jr. heading to is no other than the Super Bowl runner-ups, the Kansas City Chiefs. Could you imagine how explosive that could be? You got Tyreek Hill, one of the most explosive wide receivers in the game. You got Travis Kelce, arguably the best tight end in the game. And if you get Terrace Marshall with his combination of speed, size, and catching ability, they're going to have one of the best, or they're going to add on to the best wide receiving core in the National Football League, I believe. My second team that I have that he could potentially go to is the one where it seems like seemingly if you get drafted there, you're going to have a great career, and that is the New England Patriots with Coach Bill Belichick. The Patriots, they need a little bit of help at the wide receiving position. They need to find a new quarterback the way it's looking. We're not sure if Cam Newton is going to come back or not. But Julian Edelman, he might not make it back. We're not too sure yet. And N'Keal Harry hasn't had the best career so far, like he's been hyped up to be in New England. So it looks like it might be time to rebuild at the wide receiving position. And what better way to go than with young man out of LSU? I think he'd be a great fit there in that system with Bill Belichick and company. And finally, my third team that I have the young man going to is the Tennessee Titans. Now, the reason I have him going to the Titans is because Corey Davis, he's in free agency right now. That was one of their better receivers this past season. And we're going to see if, they need a little bit of help to get that production back. And I think that if he can go over to Tennessee, where they already have a very potent offense, even though they are a little bit more run-heavy with the king, Derrick Henry, you got to be able to diversify. You got to have that good passing game as well. And with him being the size he is, and at such a young age as well, he could grow and really help out that Titans offense and make it go into the next couple of seasons, really. And he could grow a whole lot, I think. So those are my three teams I think the young man might head to. Like I said, if you guys agree with my picks, drop it in the comments. And if you disagree, you can put it there as well. And I'd love to see what you have the young man going to and where you have him ending up. So, Vince, let's get your final thoughts on Terrace Marshall Jr., the young wide receiver at LSU.
What I like about the young man is that he made a promise to his parents that he was going to carry the legacy of his uncle, Joe Delaney, who died in a very fatal accident back in 1983. His uncle was one of the best running backs in the National Football League with the Kansas City Chiefs, and unfortunately he died trying to save three young men from drowning. This is Terrace Marshall Jr.'s uncle. So Terrace Marshall made a promise to his people back home and in the state of Louisiana that, hey, he was going to carry on the legacy in the NFL. And my final words about the young man out of Louisiana. Remember, he's 2'10", and it's the great artist out of Buffalo, New York, by the name of Tricky Rick James. He had a song out in E1, and the name of the song was Super Freak. Terrace Marshall Jr. is going to be a super freak in the 2021 NFL draft. That's my final words on the young man from LSU.
I'm with you, Vince. He is going to be a super freak in the NFL, whichever team snaps him up in the draft coming up in just a little bit. I'm looking forward to see where the young man's going to go, and I know he's going to ball out in the NFL. I have all the confidence in this young man, and I'm excited to see what big things he's going to do for any team that gets him in the NFL. Well, hey, guys, be sure if you've enjoyed this video tonight, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We thank you guys all so much for watching us, on whether it's on Facebook, on YouTube, or Twitch. We appreciate all of your likes, comments, all of your sharing. Anytime you go to Facebook groups or anywhere on your personal page, we thank you very much for that. And also be sure to go check out our podcast. You can go type in on Spotify if you'd like to, 100 Yards of Football. And you'll see all of our previous shows, including all the ones that we've done this week so far. You'll see all of our draft profiles, all of our game previews we've done in the past, our amazing Legends interviews. We had a lot of really good coaches come on the show and talk about some of their knowledge. We've had a lot of former players come on with Bobby Butler doing their Legends interviews. It's been great. We got a lot of really good stuff going on with our show. Also, if you don't like Spotify too much, that's all right, because we got you covered over on Apple Podcast as well. Just type in 100 Yards of Football, and you'll see us pop up there as well. And if you have a Google, Alexa, any kind of home device or like that, just say, hey, so-and-so, type in 100 Yards of Football, and you'll see all of our stuff pop up. And we appreciate guys so much for tuning in each and every week to watch our content. It brings us joy and smile to our face to know that y'all are enjoying what we're doing out here. And for my man, Mr. Football, Vincent Turner, I've been your producer this evening, Logan Landers. And you guys stay tuned because we got some more great football content coming to you very soon. See you soon.